We now turn from the unscientific to the absurd. And who better embodies the absurd than Sarah Palin? Yes, Sarah Palin put a video up on her channel talking about the same issue of climate change. And she had this to say.
Recently, thousands of environmentalists marched in New York demanding immediate action on climate change. Thankfully, though, more Americans are getting tired of the hysterics and are finally waking up to the con job. Here's the con. We're being told the planet will suffer catastrophically unless we cut our emissions, which means losing jobs, wrecking the coal industry, and dramatically hurting our economy. But wait, the so-called experts now tell us that even if we do all those things that the Obama administration tells us that we must do, well, the effect on the actual temperature of the planet will be imperceptible, is what they're telling us. Their computer models just can't get the right answers, I guess, because that's what we're being told. I don't know about you. I'm in no mood, though, to cripple the American economy for imperceptible changes estimated by flawed computer models. We can't predict the weather accurately next month, but we're supposed to believe these experts can predict exactly what the weather patterns will be in 100 or 1,000 or 5,000 years from now. Right. Look, I'm not a denier. I don't doubt that climate change exists. I live in an Arctic state. As governor traveling around the coastline, especially up in the Arctic, you can see changes based on the cyclical pattern of climate and weather are always changing. We can see the effects of changing weather patterns, not only on the coastline, elsewhere on land, but no one has proven that these changes are caused by anything done by human beings via greenhouse gases.
There's Sarah Palin. What do you guys think so far?
Weather is not climate, so can you please stop us telling people weather is climate? They're two different things. You can look outside and see the weather. You kind of have to know the area to know the climate.
Well, I love how she says, I'm not a denier while denying.
That's the same as saying, I'm not racist, but black people are kind of lazy. Like, that's so stupid. Whenever you have to start off defending yourself, obviously what you're you know what you're about to say is completely wrong and is going to be taken in a wrong way. And just so everybody knows, I am not racist. I love black people. Haven can vouch for me.
Well, okay, so if you were to take her for, at her position, she says, well, we don't want to do anything because it's going to wreck the coal industry. Yeah, well, the coal industry is a central part of the problem. Yeah, you're going to end up wrecking some sort of industry, but the beautiful thing about science and technology is that you can create new, better industries.
I might have had to agree with 90% of what Sarah Palin said. She totally lost me at the end when she said it wasn't man-made. But the fact that the proposals don't have a long-term discernible impact on climate change is actually 100% true. She was interchanging weather and climate. She's Sarah Palin. She's not smart like that we know of. But where she started out about the climate march, totally agree. I got stuck in traffic for 6 hours at the climate march. So, yeah, I'm Mark Ruffalo, all you guys, fuck you guys. I couldn't move my car from Central Park for fucking 6 hours. So, yeah, I totally agree with her on that. But in all seriousness, like the overall point of that clip, like not the whole video, was that the proposals do not significantly alter climate change, even if we did all that is proposed right now, which is technically true. Now, her solution is to do lesser and not like and not anything like more about it, and she interchanges climate and weather. But the basic thing of her statement was like surprisingly true from Sarah Palin. I'm a little stunned by that.
Okay, here's the comparison I'm going to make to climate deniers to put this in the best point, I think. She and their ilk are kind of like the last of the horse and buggy manufacturers, right? We don't need to pave roads. We still have horse and buggies. We don't need to do that for cars. You can't afford cars.
That's
Then
too
what happens?
expensive. It's
Yeah.
gonna ruin. It's gonna put these industries out of out of competition. They're not gonna exist anymore. Then what are they gonna do? You're gonna lose jobs.
Exactly. She is the last horse and buggy manufacturer. That's what Sarah Palin and climate deniers are. Eventually, people are going to get on the bandwagon. Things are going to change. The Earth is going to be better for it. And if we're wrong, all the more better. Then they could say, see, you were wrong, you're idiots. Fine. Wouldn't they? They love doing that anyway, so they'll get off on it, and everybody wins.
I hate to be a dick and dissect an analogy, but one thing, they would get off the bandwagon because the horses pull the wagons, and number two, horse and buggies still exist. They're still outside of Central Park every day. You can still pay for them. So yeah, poo on that. Lucy?
Let me say this to Sarah Palin. I will defend Sarah Palin. If you don't think the steps that we want to take are good, propose different steps, and then but don't deny the science. You know what I mean? Don't deny the science.
Muddy the water. Like that's the biggest takeaway that you can take from Sarah Palin is that through her interchangeability between weather and climate that she tends to go to, it shows a deep misunderstanding of the actual science. Which, look, I can understand. She's a politician. Of course, she's not going to know the science, but at the same time, when she does videos on this topic to try and present scientific points.
Jeff, I'm sorry. I gotta interrupt. I'm sorry, but she's not. You're being too kind. She's not even a politician anymore. She's a former loser who quit. She's not a politician anymore. She won't even go on YouTube with her channel. She can't even say she's a YouTuber. Okay? So she's a former loser politician who bilks money out of a pack. And that's it. She's an attention whore. That's what she is. Let's be honest about what and who Sarah Palin is. I said it, you did it. So let's not be too nice. Because there's no war on women, so let's call it as it is. If like the conservatives always tell us to do.
Oh, and I didn't even get to the second part of the clip. I should play that now. That's not even the most egregious part of what she said, or the most ridiculous.
Climate change is to this century what eugenics was to the last century. It's hysteria, and a lot of it's junk science. And when it's as discredited as eugenics, a lot of people are going to look very foolish and heartless.
Foolish and heartless. Heartless, why? Because she makes an argument that could have some merit, that's something that Sean has pointed out before. You're holding back developing countries from being able to use cheap energy sources to have the same standard of living as America. But you can always counter that with, yeah, but climate change also tends to affect more of the poorer areas anyway because they can't really deal with the monetary costs of climate change. So,
I just want to point out that was a very dick move of you, Jeff, saving that last clip, because I said I agree with her 98%, and then she drops the eugenics bomb. And, so that's super unfortunate. Obviously, if she didn't lose me already, which she did, she lost me even more there. Jeff already pointed out that there is a point that you're delaying a developing economy and all that stuff, but it's not a eugenics plot. Or is it?
That's why
I just like to point out, if Al Gore is right and we can't have this argument anymore, what's the point? Because we won't be here to be able to have this argument. We keep dancing around that simple fact that if Al Gore is right, maybe we might get to that point, but my kid or her grandchildren, somewhere along that line, and they see shit like this, that's just sad. I just wanted to point that out.
Let me just ask. I was actually really expecting her to turn it and flip it into like a debate on whether evolution should be taught in schools. When she dropped the eugenics bomb, I was like, oh man, here comes evolution. I know it's coming. Because that's always what they like to point to whenever they're like, oh, we shouldn't teach evolution, eugenics. But climate change, eugenics. It's pretty interesting. Pretty tricky there, Sarah Palin.
Don't make me defend Sarah Palin. Stop doing it, guys. Sarah Palin actually gave the right answer on an evolution question. She's like, my dad's a science teacher, and we believe up in Alaska that science should be taught in the science classroom, don't you know?
I'm a little unclear on this, Jeff. Is she still not a denier, or is she a denier? I'm unclear. Clear that out for me.
I think she's still a denier in the sense that she denies that it's human activity that's causing climate change, because she admits that, well, climate is changing, but it's a cyclical cycle. Don't you know? So she's a denier in the fact that she denies that human activity has anything to do with the rapid increase of global temperatures.
So is she like a denier curious? Maybe a closeted denier?
I don't know. I wouldn't put Sarah Palin in a closet.